Hi everyone, my name is Alicia Salcido. Welcome to my Week 7 multimedia discussion for Outline for Distracted Driving. In 2018, there were 2,841 deaths in the United States from distracted driving. Of those, 385 people have passed away from using their cell phone. This information and statistics was provided by the National Highway Safety Administration. Of those 385 people who've passed away, 18% of those people were between the ages of 20 to 29. As you can see here in the chart listed, this age group actually has a higher effect and contribution to distracted driving. And this could be for several reasons, because distracted driving is not only being on the cell phone. This could be to eating, changing the radio station, or just doing numerous things on your cell phone. For distracted drivers, the stakeholders is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and California Office of Traffic Safety. Both of these organizations' main focus and priorities is to reduce the numbers of distracted drivers on highways and streets, as this will also allow a reduction in distracted driving fatalities and accidents. For our first alternative, which is the as-is policy, is the California Vehicle Code 2313.5. This policy is in place for the state of California to ensure that all Californians are not using their handheld cell phones, that the device must be used either through Bluetooth or must be mounted on the vehicle. If there is a violation, the first offense does cost $20. Every offense after that is $50. And then for the outcome of this, it just reduces the number of distracted drivers. And there has been a reduction since 2018 based off of the statistics. For the budget, there would be no changes because everything would still be in place. The revenue that's been generated through these traffic violations would continue to sustain the policy. For the second alternative, which includes more government, the policy that was actually an executive order by President Obama, was the 13513, and this policy actually prevented federal and state employees from using federal and state vehicles, that they were not allowed to use their handheld device while on the job. So for the outcome of this, it's actually just going to reduce the number of federal and state employees. Hopefully, by that implementation, that would influence other drivers around them to implement the same policy. The timeline's just going to depend on the organization, just because it's going to depend on how they plan on monitoring this executive order to ensure that the employees are actually following it. And then for the budget, it's actually just going to be based off of the federal and state budget for those employees' organizations. It's really shouldn't cost too much, but it's just going to depend on which organization, what their implementations are going to be based off of the executive order. For our third alternative, which includes less government, the policy that would be in place would be educational events. And this would just include city campaigns or city community events that's just informing the community about distracted driving. The anticipated outcome of this would just to be widespread community information. So as this information is being informed throughout the community, it would just make sure that all of our people who are living in there in the city that are just being informed and actually taking this into practice so they're not becoming a distracted driver. The timeline for this would actually be months, as one of these events could not bring community awareness. It's going to be taking several events in order for this to be achievable. The budget would actually be based off of the city's budget general funds, just because as a city will be hosting this. For the evaluation, a matrix was used just to justify the three alternatives based on distracted driving. So the three alternatives, which is the as is, the more government, or less government. And then we're going to be basing it off if it's effective, efficient, and equitable. For the recommendation, I selected the California Vehicle Code as this was a pro compared to the other two alternatives. For the more government, it's only applied to the state and federal employees. For the less in government, there is no repercussion if a distracted driver was caught in place. So this has more repercussions for distracted drivers to ensure that they're not repeating the same action, and it's actually a law that's in place. And that was the end of the presentation. Thank you guys very much for listening.